Hi friends. Thérèse of Lisieux, popularly known in English as the Little Flower, lived in France from 1873 to 1897. She was a nun who was later canonized by the Roman Catholic Church. She's revered for the simplicity and practicality of her approach to spirituality. Together with Francis of Assisi, she is one of the most popular saints in the Catholic Church. During the last year of her life, she corresponded regularly with a young man named Maurice, who was preparing to become a missionary. This man, despite being very sincere and quite pious, had some rather serious moral struggles. While he greatly admired Thérèse, eagerly awaited her advice on things, and relied on her prayers to help him, he was always afraid to tell her about his moral failures. So for a long time, he would share with her only about the good things in his life, but never about the bad things, the sins, or the failings. He feared that if he told her the real truth, she would be shocked and lose respect for him and turn away. Eventually, though, he did muster up the courage and the trust needed to share his weakness with her, but only after first expressing his fear. He wrote, "I was afraid that in love you would take on the prerogative of justice and holiness, and that everything that is sullied would then become an object of horror to you." Thérèse's response to his comment is noteworthy. She wrote, "It must be that you don't know me well at all, if you are afraid that a detailed account of your faults would lessen the tenderness that I feel for your soul." Thérèse could have been speaking on behalf of God to us. I can imagine God saying to us, "It must be that you don't know me very well at all if you are afraid that a detailed account of your faults would somehow lessen the tenderness that I have for your soul." The beauty of that sentiment strikes a chord in our hearts, but we still have a hard time really believing it or accepting it because the experiences that we have with other people tend to be exactly the opposite. As our faults become more manifest in our relationships, others' affection for us often does lessen. So we do what comes naturally. We hide. We hide our faults, we hide our failures, and instead we try to reveal only our strengths and our achievements. We often experience the fear of rejection or ostracism or judgment in our relationship with God. We're afraid that in the goodness and holiness of the presence of God, our sinfulness will be an object of horror to God. We're afraid that God's opinion of us might change should all of our darkest secrets be exposed. We're afraid of being rejected and cast aside. And so we hide. But hiding from God only prevents us from seeing God's presence. It doesn't make God's presence go away, and it doesn't blind God to our faults and our failures. God continues to pursue us, to call us, and to walk with us. No matter where we've been or what we've done, God is always watching and waiting to reassure us, "You must not know me very well if you are afraid that confessing your faults before me will lessen the tenderness that I have toward you." Our sin may offend God's holiness. Our choices may break God's heart, but nothing we can do will lessen God's tenderness toward us. God is for us, not against us. And we may try to hide, but God seeks us with all of God's heart. Thanks for listening. I'll see you again soon.